As the presidential campaign moves into its final 4 weeks, Mitt Romney rides a lift out of last week's debate with President Obama. Republican analyst Tiene joins us today with a look at the new prospects for the campaign. Admittedly, we don't have your counterpart here from the Democratic side, but we'll take a look at the big issues. Let's talk first about this lift he has coming out of the debate. He rides this into the next debate and does what?
Well, first thing he's doing is he's going to ride it because what the debate did for Mitt Romney, it gave him a second look by a lot of disenfranchised voters. Voters just were not happy with either candidate. It created a lot of enthusiasm on the Republican side. There were a lot of Republicans who weren't excited about Mitt Romney, didn't want to talk about it when they went to work. This debate energized them. They're now talking about it. People are now paying attention to him. So he's trying to get voters to listen to him between now and the next debate to try to score some more points. And the polling is indicating that that's happening.
He's
getting some lift in some of these key swing states. And that's why he went on the offensive with foreign policy, because voters increasingly are very concerned about international affairs, international conflict. They realize that we're not walled off from the rest of the world. We're not an island anymore, particularly younger voters.
Right. Let me ask you this. He's jumped on this foreign policy thing. I'm going to give you two quotes. You tell me which one's more effective. He says, "Hope is not a strategy." The president says, "Osama bin Laden is dead." Which do you think registers more with potential voters?
Well, I think the Osama bin Laden is, it's nice, it's great, but people still associate that with George Bush. And Romney's not making a case that was military that did it. What does a president really have to do with tracking down somebody in the hills of Pakistan? So I don't know if the president got a lot of lift when it happened, made him look like a leader. Remember, Democrats aren't usually associated as being very strong with foreign policy.
Or being hawkish.
Being hawkish, so that helped the president. But that's kind of over. Now you've got the ambassador dead. It turns out to be, it was an al-Qaeda attack. It was a terrorist attack. The White House kind of pushed that down. Well, the way he went. So I think Romney's trying to regain the Republican position of being hawkish and being strong. And I think the hope comment was kind of a dig at Obama, the hopey changey thing. So it's, hope's not a strategy. It was 4 years ago when you voted for the president, and people were very excited about the hope and the change that could come from that. But now, clearly, voters, particularly those who voted for Obama now are disenfranchised, are looking for another option.
Let me ask you this. We've gravitated big time from the economy to foreign policy. Are you surprised at that at all? And do we eventually come back to the economy? Do you think that people are eventually going to say, this is a pocketbook issue election?
It is a pocketbook issue election, but you've got a couple things going on. You've got voters paying attention on a regular basis to what's going on around the world. And you've got a lot of conflict going on. Syria, Libya, still Iraq, Afghanistan. People are still looking at that. And I think Romney is using the fact that people are now paying attention to him. Even the news media is now paying attention to him, to kind of take back, I'm the Republican, I'm hawkish. You'll be safer with me in the White House than with Obama, who's more hopey-changey and not, hoping things will get better, and it's not just going to happen.
You mentioned more hawkish. He talked about getting tough with China. He said get more involved in Syria, maintain a military budget, all these hawkish type of things. But it comes at a time when Americans are a little weary of being the world's policeman. Does he toe a fine line there?
It is a fine line. And again, it's going to shift immediately. You've got a vice presidential debate coming up this week. It's going to change. You've got the last 28, 29 days of the campaign. It's going to change every 3 days. But right now he's going to capitalize on this, get people to think about him again, and then he's going to shift. He'll shift back to the economy as he goes into Ohio and Florida. I think Romney's going to be in Ohio for the next couple of days. It'll go back to Virginia. It's going to go back to the economy. He's got people paying attention, but we have, if you're a candidate, and I've been it's a long way.
28 days is a long time.
It's several lifetimes until the election. And let's say one debate does not a presidential election make.
And as we should remind viewers here too, that I think it was a couple of elections ago, John Kerry won every debate according to the pundits, but he lost the election.
And historically, if you look at it, most incumbent presidents coming into their first debate don't do well. Remember, these are presidents. They've spent 3.5 years being told they're in charge. You are the president. Whatever they want, they get. And so they come into the first debate kind of a little arrogant. And I think that's a little bit of what came across with President Obama was, what are you questioning me for? So I think that will change. You've got a vice presidential debate. The next debate is town hall style. I think Obama will do much better.
Well, that was my next question and our last question because we're running out of time. But what are these guys, how do you see the dynamics changing in the next debate?
Romney has to continue to show his softer side, that he does understand and truly care about people.
The likability factor.
The likability factor is key. Obama's got to demonstrate that, one, he is the president, he's in charge, he's energized, and he's got a plan.
All right. John Tiene, always a pleasure. We'll look to have you back as the
Anytime.
campaign winds down.
You got it.
Thanks.
Thank you.